I got to ask now, do you have a decision on Jalen now? I got to make sure that's clear. Do you have a decision on Jalen if he's starting today?
It's trending in the right direction. Again, like we're gonna see how today goes. But he's trending in the right direction, and we feel good about it. And but we got to see how today goes. That's why I meet with you guys beforehand, so I don't have to tell you that answer.
Well, what could change in a day?
What do you mean?
If you can't make a decision now, like what would change the decision or what would alter it?
Again, you're just seeing how he feels after the fact. You're seeing how the major thing is I don't have to tell you guys yet, right? I'm not quite there yet, and we still are thinking through everything. So, again, it's just like anything. You just aren't quick to just say exactly what you think might happen because there's obviously circumstances that could happen, and there's things that the way he could feel today, and all those different things. So,
has he been cleared for contact?
Has he been cleared for contact? I don't even. It's we don't really say, we say he's cleared to play or he's not cleared to play. That's say contact. So again, that's a thing that we talked with the doctors about after today's practice. But to say contact, it's really going to be if he's ready to play or not.
What are some differences?
If he's ready to play, we'll play him, and then so it's really as simple as that. Like if we feel like after we feel like he's trending in the right direction, and if we feel like after today's practice and after he goes through his rehab today and all those different things that he's ready to go, all those like the contact, the hits, the throwing, everything is obviously taken into account. We don't kind of segment, that's why I'm kind of trying to clarify. We don't segment anything. It's just like is ready to play or is not ready to play.
What are some differences you see in him this week versus what he was able to do last week?
Obviously he's done more this week. He's done a little bit more this week, and so it's. I thought he threw the ball well last week, but you're talking about the healing that's going on. That's things that you can't see, right? It's things that are going on in there, and the way that it's 1 week more. It's healed 1 week further out than it from when it happened.
Nick, I know it's a physical game, so there's always some risk. But what's your understanding of the level of risk of re-injury for Jalen at this stage with his shoulder?
Yeah, again, like everything's taken into account. We're not going to want to put anybody out there if they're going to hurt themselves worse than what it is. In certain scenarios, like there's going to be some things like everything obviously isn't taken into account. I'm trying to explain this the right way, but like if a guy is not completely healed, right, and he can hurt himself more, right, we always think about that, and we're not going to want to put these guys in position to do so.
With him specifically, do you worry about his competitive nature taking over and him taking those unnecessary hits if he plays?
I think he's savvy about how he goes down. It's going to be more so some different things of how we, like talk to him about that and tell him, hey, we don't want you to take this hit here or there, but like, sure, he's competitive, but he's going to want to go out and do everything he can do, but he also has to understand, regardless of with the shoulder or without the shoulder, that he's got to be smart of when he takes hits and when he doesn't take hits. And we got to be smart ourselves as how we call that as well.
Is CJ trending in the direction that we activated?
He's doing a good job. Again, we'll see how today's practice goes and how everything goes throughout today's practice. But he's done a nice job, and we're hopeful. Again, I won't say that he is yet. We'll see what goes down at practice today, but we're hopeful there. And we'll see what happens. He's had a good week of practice as well.
Nick, given Miles is still on the injury report with the knee, and also maybe earlier in the week, his emotions involved with being close with DeMar, how has Miles looked in practice?
I think Miles has had a good week of practice, good week of mental preparation, and also a good week of practice. I know that, obviously you guys you can talk to Miles about, I don't want to ever speak for him, especially in something like this, but I can't imagine what he had to go through mentally this week, because I know they're really close, and so we just tried to be there for Miles. I could see the guys put their arm around Miles, and we're just thrilled, obviously, and thankful that DeMar's getting better first and foremost. But you tend to think about your guys, also in this scenario, and so I think Miles had a great week of preparation, and sometimes, sometimes when you come in this building or you go out to the field, there is an escape, from some of the things and that you might be having to go through. Because I think the thing that you find out in these moments is is just how precious everything is, how precious life is. But then also, when you talk and when you start to talk to different guys and you're sharing stories that a lot of people, there's other people that are going through stuff as well, and that just creates a bond to be close, and you have empathy for people and that are going through hard things, because that you've been through hard things or that your teammates been through hard things or whatever it is. And so I just thought that, I just saw guys putting their arm around Miles and checking in on coaches, players. And I think that, in a tough time like that's obviously a big thing for a team to be able to have and have 70 people here and just your teammates, and then all the rest of the building that care about you and care about, you as a person and just want what's best for you.
If someone told you before the first game that you'd be in this spot going into Week 18 playing for the top seed, what would you have thought then?
What do you think I would have said? I would have definitely said, "Hey, I'm thinking about one game at a time." But I'll make sure I humor your question here. Yeah, of course you would say, "Yeah, heck yeah, where I sign up," right? And now that's where we are, right? And so our job is to go out there and execute. Our job is to go out there and coach our butts off to give ourselves a chance to win this week, and then. We'll take that one play at a time, but we would say where we sign up, and then we would have got into okay, but let's go play the Lions here, and let's worry about today's practice first.
How do you think you guys have? This is the first time you've had a losing streak this year. How do you think you guys have responded to the challenge, the adversity?
Yeah, I've noticed at practice this week that it's business as usual. Right? It's the dog mentality. I'm not thinking about. I've drug myself through the mud for. Every one of us of what happened and held ourselves accountable to what happened in that football game. And then I move on and I fix those things in attempts to get better. And now I'm just worried about one day at a time. So to me, I have felt like we had a really crisp practice yesterday. We had a great walk through the day before. And so what I felt like it's just been, hey, here we are. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're not worried about there. We fixed what's happened here, because it's not, dog mentality is not just hey, here, you got, you forget about this, you forget it, and this is the past, this is the future, you forget about this, yeah, you don't forget about this, you make yourself better from this, right? But once you get here, right, you build that confidence back up of where you are right now and what you've done so far, and be better from that, but be totally focused on this day. And that's just what I felt like. Listen, if I keep telling you, and the guys keep saying it, that's green, that's green, that's green, that's green, or hey, that's blue, 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 right? And so eventually you'll be like, yeah, that is blue, right? And so that's what we talk about at all times. And it doesn't matter if you're coming off of a 2-game win streak, a 2-game losing streak, 8-0, 2-5, whatever. That's the mindset of the team. That's the mindset of the culture. That's the mindset that we want everybody to have. And I think that we have great leaders here on our football team, and to me, the best teams think that way.